Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatz Sweets. Today I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step tutorial on how to decorate these cute unicorn cookies. I am just starting with a basic sugar cookie recipe, homemade, and then I also made these homemade royal icings in all sorts of pastel colors. And I also have these sprinkles. It's just my own blend of sprinkles I mixed up together. And that's gonna be to decorate the unicorn's mane. And then I also have these gold, glittery, and silver shimmer sugar, which we're gonna use to decorate the horn. So to start with, I'm going to start with my outlining icing. It's a little bit thicker. I also have the one that you're gonna use to fill the unicorn with, but this one is a little bit thicker. So that's what we're gonna use to outline the whole shape of the unicorn. When you first get your icing, sometimes they tend to separate, like this little, like you can see here, it's a little separated. So you want to massage it because that's going to be like pure liquid. So you just want to massage everything back in. The same thing happens with the white for some reason. It's normal for it to just settle after it's been sitting for a while. So you want to just give it a good massage and incorporate everything back together. And you want to start off by cutting the very tip of your bag. Don't cut too much, just the very tip. And then you're going to use one of these cupcake liners that I included inside of the kit and just squeeze it so you can test it out to see how easy or hard it is to squeeze. As you can see here, it's kind of hard to squeeze and it's not coming as a smooth outline. So I'm going to cut just a little more. And then just test it out again. Make sure you squeeze all the air bubbles out as well. So that's a little better, like a writing consistency. So what we're gonna do is outline the whole unicorn. I'm going to skip the horn, and it's not really necessary to do the mane because we're gonna do that with all the pastel colors. So I'm just gonna get started here and skip those things. And you wanna do this slowly and carefully. And with time, as you get better, you can work a little bit faster, but we'll just go around the whole thing and then just go down. And if you got any bumpy edges like that, just smooth them out. It's fine. So you want this, let this dry for a little bit, just till it starts forming a light crust on the outside. So in the meantime, you can do all of your cookies. Depending on which kit you got, you either have 6 cookies or 10 cookies, or if you're just doing this from home with your own baked cookies, obviously you can do however many you want. The first step you want to do is outline them, and then you go back and fill them later. So I'm just going to outline the few cookies that I have just for the purpose of the video. Just like that. And then we're gonna let these dry a little bit, and then I will show you guys what to do next. Alright, that outer edge is kind of starting to crust up. It's not fully dry yet, so you don't want to stick your finger in it, but you can tell it's not as shiny and glossy as before. So I'm going to take my thinner icing, same thing, make sure you massage it in there. Massage it really good just in case it's separated. Squeeze out any air bubbles. And then I cut the very tip, and if you need to cut it more. This one that we use to fill the cookie doesn't matter too much how little or how much you cut it, because you're just going to be filling it. So this icing is a little bit of a more watery consistency. This is called flooding the cookie. So you're actually filling in the whole cookie with a smooth layer of icing. Now you don't want to overdo it. You made this outline to kind of hold all the icing in, so that's the purpose of that. But you still don't want to overdo it because it will spill out the edges. So that looks good enough to me, and this is what your skewer is for. You're going to use the skewer to push the icing in all these little spots that it doesn't want to naturally flow into. So you just kind of help it fill up the whole cookie. So you just fill in all the little cracks over here. They also sell special tools for this, but a skewer is just fine. You can even use like a cake pop stick, anything that's going to help you just drag the icing and fill in any little spots. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy one of those little pointy tools. So that's how it looks right now. I will do another one for you guys. And this part, now you really want to let this fully dry before you move along. So the outline part doesn't have to dry all the way hard. Royal icing dries hard, so it's not like buttercream. But for the outline part, it's not necessary to let it dry all the way. You can, but you don't have to. But when you get to this step, you do want to let it get hard, because when you start doing the other designs on it, if you do it while it's still wet like this, it's all just gonna like blend in and mix together. So we'll just cover all this. All right, it looks good. So now you just want to let these sit. In the meantime, you can massage your colors. We're going to use the colors next when these are dried up and ready to be frosted on. So just massage all your colors. You can cut the tips ahead of time and test them out to make sure the flow is good. I packed extra cupcake liners for you guys so you can pour your sprinkles in so that it's easier to pick from. So I'll just pour some in here so it can be ready for when I get to that point. And then these are for the horn, so I'll pour some in here too. Decorating cookies takes a lot of patience, but it's a really good thing to do because you can let this sit and then just go do something else in the meantime, or by the time you outline all of your cookies, depending on how many you're decorating, and by the time you get everything else situated, it'll be time to decorate these. So this is all we're going to do for now. We're going to let this sit a little bit and we'll be right back when it's time to decorate it. Alright guys, so I just came to check on my cookie and everything looks really dry. One good way of telling is that it kind of has like a matted look. It's not so shiny and glossy anymore. Now if I were to poke this, it would leave my finger indent in there because I know they are not fully dry. In order for these cookies to be fully dry, it would take hours. Sometimes they even recommend you leave them out like on the counter overnight so that you know they're completely solid. But it's dry enough to decorate on top and the decorations won't melt into the cookie. So this is at the stage where I'm going to start decorating. So as you can see here, I've already cut my tips and I've squeezed some icing out just to test it all out and make sure everything is good. I massaged all my bags and I did all that. So we're ready to go ahead and start decorating. I'm going to start with the horn. So I'm going to take the yellow for the horn and I'm just going to outline the horn and then fill it in all at the same time, because we're going to coat this in that pretty golden shimmery glitter, the sugar. So that is what that looks like. It's gold sugar and then it has little silver sugar specks. So I'm going to just I'm going to put this cookie a little bit over my cupcake tin And then just sprinkle it in. I want to cover the whole horn, so I don't want to see any of the yellow. I just want to see this pretty glittery sugar on it. So I'm going to try to cover all the spots. You probably won't be able to get every single edge covered, but for the most part, cover all the yellow so that when you look at the cookie from the top, all you see is that pretty sugar or colored sugar. So just tap it off. So that's how that looks. And then we're gonna start with the hair, or the mane. Dust some of this off. So I'm just gonna start, you can start with whatever color. Let's just go ahead and start with yellow. So with this, just make sure you cut the tip, squeeze some out, make sure everything's massaged good in there, get all the air bubbles out. So what I'm going to start is by giving it some bangs. So all I'm really going to do is draw on it, just little strands. I'm going to do one strand of each color for the bangs, and then I'm going to go along the mane. You want to cover some of this white part too, because unicorns usually have like a big colorful giant mane. So you're just going to do like strips, just like big chunky hair strands, and then you could curve some in like that, curve some out, but for the most part just do strips because you're going to add so many other colors. So that is good enough for yellow. So then I'll go in with my purple and do the same thing, add a little bang of purple. And once this starts mending together and drying, it's going to form a uniform mane. And then we're also going to decorate it with sprinkles. So don't worry about this part being too perfect because it's all going to work out at the end. It's all going to dry very pretty. And once you add the sprinkles, that will hide any mistakes you might have made. Let's do the pink. Just let it all flow and blend together. And we have some blue. And I like the blue the best, so I'm going to add, I'm just going to fill in any spots that I see with blue. So I'll let that be the most prominent color. Kind of layer it, and anything else that may need to be covered, just top it off with the blue. Alright, that looks very pretty. It's almost like wavy curly hair. Alright, the next part is you want to do this before this dries. So take your sprinkles and just pick and choose what you want out of it, because there's some colors in here that I don't think would look very nice, like the dark purple, but I'm gonna pick and choose what I want. I really like these stars, the gold stars, so I'm gonna put one of those on there. I love these little pearls, the sugar pearls, so I'll sprinkle some of those in. There's a gold pearl over here. So just pick and choose out of the sprinkle mix what you think would look best. I would stay away from like the orange. I don't think red would look nice, and I don't think the dark purple would look nice. There's some silver pieces in here would look cute. So I'm just gonna keep adding decorations until I'm happy with it. So let me finish this and then I will show you guys what's next. Alright guys, I have sprinkled her up and she is looking very pretty. So let's shift her a little bit over here, and I'm going to show you how to do the eye and the mouth and the nose. So in your kit you will have black. This one you really want to cut the very tip of it and test it out, because you're going to need a fine line and you don't want any air bubbles at this point, and you don't want this cut too thick because then you won't have the fine line to make the eye. So I'm going to just do the eyelash part. So all you have to do is kind of near the below the bang area, just do a small curve. So she's gonna have like a closed eyelid, and then if you want to, you can add eyelashes, so the eyelashes would face downward. Let me get a little bit more comfortable so I can pipe this. This part you want to be very careful and make little stripes for the eyelashes. So that's the eyelashes, and then I'm just going to do a little curl here for the nose, around where the nose would be on a real horse or a real unicorn. And let's just make her smiling. So another little curve for the smile. And that is it. I think she looks gorgeous and she looks happy. I'm going to take some finished pictures so I can post at the end of this video as well. But that is basically it. You can make the hair as big or as small as you want. Let me show you another example I made over here. Here's another one I made where the hair was a little bit thinner. But I think it looks a lot better with the full hair like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you are able to decorate this, and you were able to see how easy it is to do this on your own. And you want to let this dry completely now. I recommend at least a few hours just on the table. Let it air dry. Make sure it is not too hot where you are setting them to dry. You definitely don't want to put them in the sun or like by a window where there's a sun. If you have a fan in your room where you're drying them at, have the fan on. That's what I do right now. So it's just an air conditioned dining room and I have the fan on, and they're gonna sit here and dry for a couple hours before you package them up or whatever you are doing with them. They're good to eat right now if that's all you're gonna do with them is eat. But if you want to package them up and put them in a little baggie or something, let them dry until they are rock hard. Not rock hard, but when you touch it, you'll see that it's like a hard, it's not going to be caving in or anything, and it's going to be safe to package up. So I recommend a few hours or overnight if you can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I think this unicorn looks so pretty and it is so easy. It's not complicated to decorate at all. And if you happen to be watching this video because you purchased one of my kits, you have everything on hand that you need to decorate it. But if not, like I said, everything that I used can be found at your local store. Nothing fancy, and everything can be handmade as well. So until next time, thanks for visiting Beatz Sweets, and I hope you enjoy your cookies.